Close your eyes. Imagine standing at the cusp of history where the silence would seem alive, thick, endless, in anticipation of a heartbeat. The rocket towers above the ground, under the floodlights, glowing faintly. The air is still and heavy, with anticipation. Every cable hums quietly, each surface gleaming with purpose. And the launch pad feels very large and fragile, a place where human dreams and gravity meet for one last moment before parting ways. Inside, astronauts sit in perfect stillness. Their bodies are secure in their seats, with panels of glowing switches and faint reflections of their helmets. The air is warm and recycled inside, with the subtle smell of metal and fabric. Every breath seems to echo softly through the suit, every inhale a reminder it's real, that they are about to leave the world behind. Outside, there are people watching. From in here, there is only the hum of machines and the quiet rhythm of their thoughts. Time all but stands still as Mission Control's voice goes through final checks, calm and measured, almost somnambulant in precision. Every syllable seems to be an act of deliberation, anchoring that instant in reality. There are the systems confirming, one by one, green lights, stable pressure, all nominal. The astronauts shoot small glances at each other, eyes meeting visor to visor. They don't need words. The air between them carries the weight of everything they've trained for, the long days, the simulations, the years spent dreaming about this very moment. Outside, the world is waiting. The clouds drift slowly across the sky, tinted with gold from the morning light. Somewhere in the distance, birds rise from the treetops, startled by the faint hiss of fuel venting. Steam curls into the sky, like a breath from the earth itself, as if the planet were sighing softly, ready to let them go. And then, the countdown does its thing, 10. The voice is clear, calm, and familiar. 9. The astronauts tighten their grip on the armrests ever so slightly. 8. A soft vibration stirs through the cabin, like a heartbeat beginning to stir. 7. The world outside seems suspended in that fragile, thin line between rest and motion. 6. Every muscle is awake now, every sense alive. 5. A deep breath. 4. The engines are primed. 3. The mind quiets, surrendering to the moment. 2. 1. The sound begins deep beneath them, a low growl, ancient and powerful, rising through the metal frame. It grows until it fills everything. The rocket shudders, the seat vibrates, the sound becomes a living force that passes through bone and thought alike. But even in that thunder, there is calm, a strange, measured serenity. The body feels the weight of acceleration, but the mind drifts, still and centered. Out the small, circular window, the ground begins to slip away, the familiar world, green fields, blue oceans, white clouds, grows smaller, softer, more distant. The engines burn bright beneath, shaking the sky and tearing through layers of atmosphere. For a moment, everything outside glows orange, the thin veil of air that surrounds Earth, igniting with light. Then, just as suddenly, the vibration begins to fade. The engines cut off. The sound collapses into silence. The rocket coasts, free now from gravity's pull. The pressure eases. The body, once pinned down, begins to rise ever so slightly against the seat. The astronauts float for the first time gently, slowly, like leaves drifting on invisible water. The silence that follows is not empty, it's full of something vast and alive. They look at each other again, wide-eyed, their faces illuminated by the pale blue light of the instrument panels. A small smile plays on one of them, the unspoken language of wonder. The curve of Earth shimmers below the window, thin layers of cloud swirl in perfect stillness, oceans glinting like liquid glass. Beyond, the darkness of space stretches to infinity, no sound, no air, no up or down. Just quiet. Astronauts repeatedly relate that the most powerful part of the launch is not the roar of the engines but rather the silence that follows. That stillness is absolute, deeper than anything on Earth. No wind, no rustling leaves, no hum of life from afar. Only the soft, mechanical pulse of the ship and the rhythm of your own breathing. You begin to realize that the only home for the sounds you've always known is Earth. Here, beyond the atmosphere, even thought feels lighter. Every movement now is slow and deliberate. A floating hand reaches out to adjust a control. A pen drifts lazily beside a shoulder, turning end over end like a tiny satellite in orbit. The mind, so long taught, springs back, takes a deep breath, and starts to uncoil. The fear, the noise, the vibration, all of it dissolves into calm. You are weightless, free, suspended between stars and home. The blue of the Earth fades to black as the spacecraft drifts further and further away. The astronauts watch the horizon curvature stretch away, with an aura of glowing light. Lightning flashes silently below them in the clouds. They can see entire storms swirl across continents, but from up here, it all looks peaceful, quiet, almost gentle. The planet seems to be alive and breathing softly in the darkness. The hum of the ship is a lullaby, a low, even vibration that enfolds them like the beat of a heart from a mechanical world. In that sound, they find solace. The silence between the beeps of systems and the susurrus of air filters is sacrosanct. It is the first true quiet they have ever known, infinite. It's a gradual surrender, leaving Earth's pull. Everything feels lighter the further they go, body, thought, and memory. The inescapable weight of the world starts falling away. Down below, there were oceans and forests, cities, and all other people sleeping under the same stars. Up here, there is only stillness. The astronauts float near the window, watching as the last glow of atmosphere fades behind them. Gold, blue, then black, the colors swirl until only endless night is left. And deep inside, it hits them, they are no longer tied to gravity, no longer a part of the cacophony that fills the world. They are weightless, drifting silently between everything that has ever been and everything yet to be. In that silence, the mind expands. The thoughts slow, the heartbeat steadies. They think of home, but not with longing, with peace. Earth is there, small and shining, a perfect circle of light. Everything they have ever known, every sound, every story, every human voice exists within that fragile sphere below. And as the spacecraft glides onward, the moment lingers, the quiet after liftoff, the calm between worlds. The engines are silent now, but their echo lives on inside the heart. What began in thunder has ended in serenity. The journey has only just begun, yet already, they have touched something infinite. The quiet launch is not only a departure from Earth but a return to silence, reminding one that before sound, before movement, and before everything, there is stillness. And in that stillness, there is peace, vast, endless, and waiting beyond the sky. Close your eyes. Now, imagine that your body weighs nothing. You are suspended, free from the constant tug that has pulled on you since the moment of your birth. There is no up, no down. No falling. No weight beneath your feet. You drift, slowly, as if the air itself had become a gentle ocean and you were a leaf set upon its surface. This is what astronauts refer to as microgravity. The body feels completely free. Every movement is without effort. A small push of a fingertip sends you gliding through the cabin, silent and slow. There's no need to walk, no strain on muscles or joints. You move as in a dream, every motion soft, floating, smooth as a thought. At first, it feels strange. The body's used to the weight of itself, the sense of balance and down. But here, those rules don't apply. You learn to let go of control, to surrender to the stillness. You stop fighting the gravity, because there is none to fight. You simply drift, and soon it feels natural, even comforting. Inside the spacecraft, everything floats: pens, food packets, a strand of hair that drifts before your eyes. Every object moves to the same silent rhythm, like dancers in some slow-motion ballet. The hum of the ship instills the only sense of direction, a gentle, soft vibration to remind you there is a world around you. Otherwise, it feels like being inside a dream. When it's time to sleep, the astronauts don't lie down. There is no floor, no bed, no pillow. They float inside small sleeping bags attached to the wall or ceiling, zipped loosely around their bodies to prevent drifting away. There's no pressure on the back or neck, no heaviness in the limbs. Just suspension, a feeling of floating in midair. Some describe it as the most peaceful sleep imaginable, as if the body forgets it even exists. The cabin lights dim to a soft glow. Outside, the world moves silently below. In orbit, there is no true night, just the rhythm of passing sunrises and sunsets, 16 each day. Light fades and returns again, gently brushing through the windows like a heartbeat of time. Some close their eyes and imagine the darkness of space as an enormous ocean, rocking them through the sleepless night. Others listen to the hum of air filters and equipment adrift, sounds that after days in the quiet become lullabies. Eating in zero gravity is another sort of quiet ritual. Food floats in sealed packets or small containers. You open one, press a spoon gently inside, and guide each bite toward your mouth, careful not to let droplets escape into the air. A small piece of fruit might drift away, glimmering softly in the cabin light. And someone will laugh softly as they catch it midair. Every meal becomes a slow, careful dance, deliberate, graceful, almost meditative. Liquids must be drunk through special straws or pouches because, in zero gravity, water acts like a sphere. Water can't pour, it can only float. Sometimes, astronauts watch the way droplets shimmer as they spin, little globes of silver light reflecting the stars outside. They float, catch one between their lips, and it feels as if the universe itself has been distilled into a single sip. Moving around the cabin becomes instinctive. You don't walk, you glide. A light push from a wall sets you drifting across the module. You reach out, catch a handle, twist, and push off again, gently. Your body turns into an instrument of perfect balance, directed by the faintest touch. Every movement is silent, smooth, and precise. You never hurry, because hurry has no meaning here, everything floats along at the speed of thought. Sometimes, astronauts stop and look out the window. The Earth rotates slowly, below them, vast, blue, alive. Clouds bloom across continents and lightning flashes silently far beneath. From here, it all seems soft and fragile. The thin curve of atmosphere shines faintly with light, a fragile ribbon that separates the world from the endless dark. If you watch it, you feel small, but not inconsequential. You feel connected, part of something too wide for words. Drifting like this, you begin to forget the sensation of standing. Your body relaxes in a way it never could on Earth. The spine lengthens, muscles loosen, joints release their tension. You are simply floating, perfectly supported by nothing at all. The mind follows the body's lead, thoughts slow down, grow lighter, more spacious. It is a feeling of weightlessness with which astronauts will often describe a sense of peace. The world below seems so far away, yet so close as to perhaps see entire continents. Storms, oceans, and nightfall all in one view. This reminds them how fragile it all is, how small every worry becomes when seen from above. In microgravity, even sound moves differently. Without air currents, voices stay soft and clear, floating like ripples across still water. Every word feels deliberate. Laughter echoes gently. A dropped tool makes no crash, just a faint tap as it touches a wall. Silence fills the spaces between, a silence that feels deep and kind. As evening descends, and it's time to sleep once again, the cabin falls silent. Outside of the window, stars hang motionless, innumerable and bright. Earth is being circled by the ship, and on board of it, the astronauts float, kept still by invisible forces. They lay in their sleeping bags, close their eyes, and breathe slowly. They say sleep in space feels like falling and floating at the same time. The body forgets weight, the mind forgets worry. Dreams come differently here, slower, softer. You might dream of oceans, of flying, of home. Or you might not dream at all, only rest in the vast quiet of the cosmos. Every so often, a soft light crosses their closed eyelids, sunrise again, brushing through the window. The ship turns and Earth glows gold once more, another orbit starts, another day of weightless serenity. The astronauts stretch, open their eyes, and smile as droplets of light dance through the air around them. Living in zero gravity is not just a scientific experience, it's a lesson in peace. You learn to move gently, to handle every object with care, to live slowly and deliberately. You learn that freedom doesn't always mean speed, sometimes, it means stillness. Here, in this floating world, the body and mind drift together calm, silent, unencumbered. The hum of the ship becomes your heartbeat, the stars your ceiling. You move through the air like a dream that never ends. And as you drift softly through the cabin, the thought occurs, this is what true freedom feels like, not running, not falling, but just floating in the quiet embrace of space. Imagine floating toward the small window of your spacecraft. The cabin is dim, quiet, filled with the low hum of air filters and instruments. You steady yourself by a gentle push from the wall and glide closer, in slow, weightless ease. Then, the view opens before you, vast, endless, glowing with colors no photograph can ever truly capture. Below you lies Earth. A sphere of light and motion, alive and breathtaking. Clouds swirl like white paint brushed across blue oceans. The curve of the planet glows faintly with a thin band of atmosphere, delicate, luminous, impossibly fragile. You can see entire continents at once, mountain ranges stretching like veins, deserts glowing in warm golds, forests deep and dark with life. From up here, the world is silent, and yet it feels as if you can hear it, a quiet pulse, steady and ancient. The sight of an Earthrise is barely containable in words. It is as if it were the birth of light itself the instant the curvature slips into view. The sun creeps around the edge, and in an instant, the whole horizon is aflame, first pale silver, then pink, then gold. The oceans glimmer, and the clouds go up in fire from within. It happens every 90 minutes, this eternal sunrise, as the spacecraft circles the world again and again. 16 times a day, night turns to day and day to night. And each time, it feels new. Astronauts have likened it to a holy cadence, an unceasing heartbeat of light. As the sun rises, the cabin is bathed in soft light which gradually morphs through every color conceivable, deep blue, rose, gold, then falling back into the velvet dark once more. You begin to lose all sense of time. There is no morning and night, only the light and shadow endlessly progressing around the Earth. At night, it becomes a quiet map of light when the sun slips away again. Cities bloom across the surface like constellations of their own, soft clusters of yellow and white, connected by faint lines of glowing roads. You trace the shape of continents not by land and sea, but by the patterns of human life. It's a strange and beautiful sight, billions of tiny lives shining together in the dark. From up here, storms are like living things. Lightning flickers inside immense clouds, silent but brilliant, pulsing like the heartbeat of the planet. Over the poles, ribbons of green and purple light twist across the sky, auroras dancing in silence, more graceful than any music could ever express. Every look out the window seems to be a living masterpiece, painted not with brush or hand but with time and nature. And yet, it's the silence that moves you most. From space, Earth makes no sound, no wind, no thunder, no waves. Only stillness. You realize that all the noise of life, the cities, the voices, the storms, the machines, is confined to that thin film of air hugging the surface. Beyond it, everything is calm. It's a peace so complete that it feels holy. As you look at the planet, you begin to understand something simple and profound. There are no borders. The lines that divide countries, that fill maps and minds, do not exist here. From above, it's one continuous whole, oceans blending into coasts, mountains merging with plains. And the concept of us and them dissolves. There is only home. Some astronauts have said they cried the first time they saw Earth from space. Not from sadness, but from awe. From this sudden undeniable truth that everything they have ever loved, every story, every life, every memory, fits inside that glowing blue sphere. It's so small, so delicate, drifting quietly through the dark. And you realize there is nothing else like it. You watch the sun rise over the horizon, and with that, time slows. The light creeps over the oceans, touches the clouds, and spills over the land. You see entire countries waking up. Tiny flickers of dawn stretching from east to west. It's the same sunrise you've seen all your life, yet from here, it feels infinite. It connects everything, every person, every place, in one soft breath of light. You stand and stare out the window for hours, maybe days, never getting tired of the view. You eat there, you float there, you occasionally even drift into sleep beside it. The earth in view becomes your constant companion, your reminder of home, your reason for calm. It grounds you, even as you drift far above it. Many astronauts say this view changes them forever. When they return to Earth, they look at life differently. The little frustrations fade. The world feels more precious, more fragile. They understand that humanity is one species sharing one home, spinning together through a silent universe. They carry that vision with them, a deep, lasting peace born from perspective. From space, Earth isn't just a planet. It's a miracle, a glowing drop of water and light suspended in an ocean of black, shining not because of the sun, but because of everything living on it, every ocean current, every forest, every voice, every heart. Floating there, you watch another sunrise paint the curve of the world. An overwhelming stillness wells up inside. The mind quiets. Your breath slows, and the distance between you and home is a bridge of light. For the first time, you see with complete clarity, this is where we belong, this is what we are. You drift, then, your face bathed in soft gold, eyes on the endless horizon. Beneath you, the earth spins, blue and alive. Above you, the stars wait in silence. Between them, you hover not apart from the world, but part of its eternal rhythm. The view from the window is no longer just a sight. It's a feeling, the calm of knowing that even in the vastness of space, you are still home. Inside the spacecraft, there is a continuous hum, quiet, steady vibration that never stops. It emanates from the life support systems, the fans, the electronics, the heartbeat of the ship itself. It's soft, low, and rhythmic, like the sound of breathing. After a while it fades into the background, becoming a part of you. The astronauts call the sound of life in space, a reminder that the systems are still running, that the air is still circulating, that they are not alone in the silence. If you close your eyes, it feels like the entire cabin whispers. The air stirs in soft puffs that make the faintest hiss, equipment clicks and chitters now and then, temperature regulators sigh, and the radio murmurs softly from the control panel. Each noise has a purpose, every vibration a meaning. There are no random noises here. It's a soundscape of calm, mechanical precision, the sound of survival, wrapped in stillness. But beyond this, there is nothing. The moment you imagine yourself stepping outside the spacecraft, the sound fades to nothing at all. In space, there is no air to carry waves. There is no echo, no wind, no murmur of movement. It is a great, endless silence, complete and absolute. For the astronauts, it's something deeper than quiet, something touching the mind in a way nothing on Earth can. It's not empty but infinite, a silence that feels alive. This silence becomes part of the view when they look out the window. The stars don't twinkle here, but burn steady and pure. The Earth spins silently below, clouds blooming and fading without a sound. Storms rage, volcanoes erupt, waves crash across thousands of miles, and yet, from up here, it is all perfectly quiet. The planet hums with life, but that hum cannot reach you. It's as if you are watching a dream unfold behind glass. Many astronauts say that this stillness changes how they listen. They become aware of every small sound inside the ship, the soft buzz of a power unit, the gentle tick of a valve, the faint creak of metal expanding in sunlight. They notice the rhythm of their own breathing, the beating of their hearts, the way a whispered word floats in the air like a fragile thread. In that environment, even silence has texture. Outside the spacecraft, the vacuum stretches out to infinity. The only vibrations that move through it are the faint electromagnetic waves of light and energy. Scientists have translated some of those signals, radio waves from planets, magnetic pulses from the sun, the low hum of cosmic radiation, into sound. They call it the music of space. It isn't music in the way we know it, but it carries the same feeling, vast, deep, resonant. A slow, echoing tone that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Earth itself creates its own song. When you're in orbit, if you could translate the magnetic field of the planet into sound, you'd hear a low, shimmering song, constant, soothing, like the beat of a heart in the darkness. This is the music astronauts speak of when they describe the peace of Earth's orbit. It isn't heard with the ears, but is felt through vibration, through light, through presence. Sometimes, when the work is done and the cabin lights are dimmed, an astronaut will drift by the window and listen, not with hearing, but with awareness. The hum of the spacecraft blends with the silence outside until it feels like one continuous note, a balance between machine and void, between human life and infinite space. That harmony, they say, is one of the most peaceful sensations in existence. There's also another sound, the voice of home. Through the radio, distant and faint, comes the calm tone of mission control. The delay between words gives each message a strange rhythm, like echoes from across an ocean. Copy that. Roger. We see you on track. The voices fade in and out, soft and steady, threading through the silence like music notes. In that stillness, those words are a lifeline, a connection between two worlds. Inside the cabin, laughter sometimes joins the hum. A floating object bumps a wall and drifts away. A soft chuckle, a quiet word, a pause. Then the silence closes in again, thick and kind. Even in moments of work or fatigue, there's an underlying stillness, a rhythm that somehow seems to be in tune with the slow rotation of the Earth down there. And then, slowly, the light returns. The sun's rays break over the curve of the Earth, spilling into the cabin. The solar panels creak again, warming. The instruments respond with soft clicks and tones. The hum deepens slightly as systems adjust. You can almost hear the dawn, not as sound, but as vibration, as presence. It's the music of a new orbit beginning. The thing is, astronauts say that after long days in this soundscape, their senses sharpen. When they finally come back to Earth, the noise of the world is overwhelming: wind and traffic and birds and voices and rain. They realize how loud life is. And yet, they miss the quiet. They miss the gentle hum that became a lullaby, the silence that wrapped around them like a blanket. They say space teaches you to listen differently, to hear the spaces between sounds, to notice the pulse of your own existence, to understand that even in silence, there is music not made of notes, but of stillness. As you drift there, eyes closed, surrounded by the hum of the ship and the boundless quiet outside, you start to hear it too. A harmony of light and motion, the slow rhythm of orbits and breaths, the faint song of a planet turning below. The sound of space is not emptiness but full of calm. It is the sound of everything, and nothing, all together at one time. Imagine the engines have gone silent. The roar of launch is far behind you now, and the hum of orbit has faded to a soft, steady rhythm. The spacecraft glides forward through the black, not pushing, not struggling, just coasting, suspended between worlds. There is no sense of movement, no rush of air, no wind against the hull. You are moving faster than any bird, any jet, any thought, yet it feels as though you are perfectly still. Outside the window, space stretches in all directions, endless, silent, unbroken. Stars hang motionless, scattered across a velvet ocean like frozen sparks. Some shine bright and close, others lurk at the edge of vision, their light having traveled for millions of years to reach this moment. The blackness between them is not empty but full of quiet, full of distance, full of time. It is the stillness of infinity itself. Days turn into weeks, then into months. The journey is long but not lonely. Inside the spaceship, life follows its own rhythm, small routines repeated over and over, like waves lapping against a faraway shore. You wake, you work, you eat, you rest. You watch instruments flicker softly in the dim light, hear the gentle breath of the ventilation system, feel the slow spin of the ship as it keeps its balance between gravity and emptiness. Sometimes you drift to the window and gaze out. The sun, now just a distant flame, burns small and sharp, its light falling cold and clear. The planets hang like jewels, Mars glowing faint red, Jupiter vast and striped, Saturn pale and calm, its rings a thin halo of gold. They seem so close, yet each one is weeks or months away. The distances are beyond comprehension, but not frightening. Instead, they feel peaceful, like time itself has slowed to a steady heartbeat. Every now and then, you cross into shadow. The sun slips behind a planet, and darkness fills the cabin. It's not the darkness of night on Earth, not something that waits for dawn. This darkness is total, ancient, unbroken. It has no beginning, no end. The stars shimmer quietly in it, unblinking, eternal. In those moments, you feel the weight of silence settle around you like a blanket. You breathe, and even that sound feels loud, alive, almost sacred. Spacecraft move by grace and patience. Once their engines fire and the trajectory is set, there is nothing more to do but drift. The motion goes on, smooth and endless, following invisible curves of gravity. You are a seed cast into the dark, gliding between suns. The ship doesn't need to push, it simply falls, forever, following the quiet path drawn by the universe itself. Time becomes a fluid thing for the travelers inside, days merge into one another, regulated by the ticking of instruments and the rhythm of tasks. Clocks tick, screens glow, but outside, there is only eternal night. Some astronauts say this changes their sense of self. Without the world beneath them, without the usual rhythm of morning and evening, they begin to feel like a part of something larger, as if their own heartbeat has synchronized with the turning of the stars. The trip to Mars, for example, takes several months. Each day, the red planet gets a little bit bigger in the window, but so slowly that you can hardly tell. One morning it's a dot. Weeks later, it's a coin. Then, almost imperceptibly, it's a world. Each tiny shift feels like a meditation, a reminder of patience, of distance, of time's quiet unfolding. In that long stillness, the mind begins to quiet too. Worries fade. Thoughts stretch out, slow and weightless, like the body in zero gravity. You learn to appreciate the tiniest things, a floating drop of water catching the sunlight, the soft vibration of a tool against your glove, the way your breath fogs slightly against the visor before clearing again. Every detail feels important, beautiful, alive. There are moments when you pass near the shadow of a planet or the tail of a comet and faint streaks of light dance across the hull. Dust particles, no larger than sand, shine for an instant, then are gone. The universe speaks in silence, in light, in motion, in time. You start to feel that silence as a language. Sometimes, you think about people back on Earth, their days filled with sound and motion and hurry, cars and voices, cities. And here you are. There is nothing more to do but drift. The motion goes on, smooth and endless, following invisible curves of gravity. You are a seed cast into the dark, gliding between suns. The ship doesn't need to push, it simply falls, forever, following the quiet path drawn by the universe itself. Time becomes a fluid thing for the travelers inside, days merge into one another, regulated by the ticking of instruments and the rhythm of tasks. Clocks tick, screens glow, but outside, there is only eternal night. Some astronauts say this changes their sense of self. Without the world beneath them, without the usual rhythm of morning and evening, they begin to feel like a part of something larger, as if their own heartbeat has synchronized with the turning of the stars. The trip to Mars, for example, takes several months. Each day, the red planet gets a little bit bigger in the window, but so slowly that you can hardly tell. One morning it's a dot. Weeks later, it's a coin. Then, almost imperceptibly, it's a world. Each tiny shift feels like a meditation, a reminder of patience, of distance, of time's quiet unfolding. In that long stillness, the mind begins to quiet too. Worries fade. Thoughts stretch out, slow and weightless, like the body in zero gravity. You learn to appreciate the tiniest things, a floating drop of water catching the sunlight, the soft vibration of a tool against your glove, the way your breath fogs slightly against the visor before clearing again. Every detail feels important, beautiful, alive. There are moments when you pass near the shadow of a planet or the tail of a comet and faint streaks of light dance across the hull. Dust particles, no larger than sand, shine for an instant, then are gone. The universe speaks in silence, in light, in motion, in time. You start to feel that silence as a language. Sometimes, you think about people back on Earth, their days filled with sound and motion and hurry, cars and voices, cities. And here you are. But for now, there is only this, the hum of life in the cabin, the endless night outside, and the quiet grace of motion without effort. You close your eyes, floating weightless in the calm. The ship continues to glide, silent and sure. Beyond the window, the stars stay still, patient, eternal. In their quiet light, you understand, the universe is not empty. It is full of peace. Inside the silent cabin, the lights dim to a gentle glow. The hum of the spaceship is the only sound, steady, soft, almost like a heartbeat. The day's work is done. The astronaut drifts toward their sleeping area, a small cocoon fixed to the wall, floating in the soft light of orbit. There is no bed, no pillow, no up or down, only space. Sleep here is different. It isn't something you fall into, it's something that slowly arrives, like a shadow settling across still water. They slip into their sleeping bag, securing it loosely so they won't drift across the cabin. It hangs vertically, but in microgravity, that has no meaning. Every direction feels the same, all directions feel free. The bag surrounds them lightly, and as their arms float, their heartbeat begins to slow. Eyes close, and silence of orbit begins its takeover. Outside, the world spins below them, the earth blue and alive, the cities twinkling like embers in the dark. Out the window, the planet seems quiet, as if it could be sleeping itself. It's a view, astronauts report, that can change the way they sleep. To watch an entire world drifting below makes their own thoughts seem smaller, quieter. Every breath feels connected to the air down there, to the wind, to the oceans, to all the sleeping people on Earth. The rhythm of day and night in orbit is unlike anything on the surface. The spacecraft circles Earth every 90 minutes. That means 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets every day. Light floods the cabin, then fades again into blackness. The golden glow of morning turns to indigo night in the blink of an eye. But after a while, something strange happens, time itself starts to lose its meaning. The astronauts learn to live by their schedule, not the sun. Artificial light from within the ship delineates the rhythm of life, soft morning glow signaling start of work, and gentle dimming that says rest time. This careful routine becomes their heartbeat, how they maintain balance while the universe spins endlessly around them. Drifting in sleep, they sometimes dream. The dreams are different here, lighter and slower, more vivid. Some say even their minds feel like floating, as if thoughts themselves were weightless. They dream of flying, of oceans, of clouds. Others dream of home, the sound of rain, the feel of gravity, the warmth of sunlight through a window. In space, even memories of ordinary moments become precious. There is something profoundly soothing about falling asleep in zero gravity. On Earth, your body is always being pulled downwards, that steady reminder of weight, of pressure, of being held. But here, there's none of that, the muscles don't have to work at all, the spine stretches, softly, the heart doesn't have to pump as hard. Sleep seems deeper, more natural, somehow a return to that state prior to any motion. Sometimes, before drifting off, they listen to the faint hum of the ship, fans circulating air, small pumps moving fluids, systems whispering life into the silence. That quiet symphony becomes a lullaby. Outside, there is no sound at all. The vacuum of space swallows every vibration, every echo. The stars shine silently, indifferent but comforting. The contrast, the living hum inside, and the infinite silence outside create a strange kind of peace. A few astronauts describe floating in their sleep as a dream within a dream. Without gravity, their bodies gently drift, arms lifting like seaweed in water. The sensation blurs the line between awake and asleep. It's not falling, not resting, it's hovering. Suspended between awareness and surrender. Time seems to stretch and fold around them, as if the universe itself is breathing slowly. When they wake, it's not to the jolt of an alarm clock or the light of a morning sun. It's quiet. The body simply stirs, the mind returning softly. They open their eyes to a world that never stopped moving, Earth rolling silently below, stars unmoving above. The transition between dream and waking feels seamless, almost gentle enough to miss. Some nights, or what they call nights, they stay awake a little longer. They unfasten their sleeping bag and drift to the window. Out there, the planet glows like a lantern in the dark. Clouds move slowly over oceans. Thunderstorms flash with silent light. From this distance, it all seems peaceful, delicate, impossibly beautiful. Watching the world from here feels like watching a dream you once lived inside. This sleeping astronaut is an image of trust. He closes his eyes, knowing that this small vessel floats through an endless space, that beyond those walls lies absolute nothingness. Yet inside, there is warmth, breath, heartbeat, and peace. It's a reminder that safety doesn't always come from solid ground. Sometimes, it comes from stillness, from quiet, from letting go. As the hours wear on, the ship drifts on, orbit after orbit, sunrise after sunrise. The stars outside are unchanged, shining with ancient calm. Inside, the sleeping astronaut floats in their cocoon, at peace between dreams and reality. His breathing joins the rhythm of the ship, steady, patient, eternal. If you could see them now, you'd notice the faintest motion, a slow turn, a floating hand, a soft exhale. The universe moves around them, but inside, everything is still. This is a kind of rest few have ever known, sleep without gravity, dreams without weight, silence without fear. And in that silence, in that infinity of night, the astronaut dreams not of the destination, not of the journey, but of the calm in between. The calm of total weightlessness. The calm of knowing that in space, even sleep is an act of grace. High above the turning Earth, a quiet home floats in the darkness, the International Space Station. From the ground, it looks like a moving star, gliding slowly across the night sky. But inside, it's warm and full of life, a home suspended between day and night, between gravity and endless space. The walls hum softly. Lights glow with gentle warmth. Every sound is measured, every motion smooth. This is not just a laboratory, it's a floating home for those who have left the planet behind. Inside the station, everything feels close and familiar. There are no walls dividing rooms in the way we know them, just soft modules connected like hallways in a dream. Each one serves a purpose, a place for sleep, for work, for food, for quiet. Every surface has handrails, every object a tether. There's no floor or ceiling, only direction by habit. You move not by walking but by gliding, pushing gently from one wall to another, floating like a leaf in slow motion. The astronauts wake to the soft chime of their schedule, a calm tone that signals the start of another day in orbit. Earth passes beneath them at 28,000 kilometers an hour, yet inside the station, life moves unhurried. They float from their sleeping bags, stretch their arms, and look out the window at the blue curve of the world. The view never gets old. Every 90 minutes, the sun rises again, bathing the cabin in golden light. The glow is soft, as if the warmth of home. The morning routines are simple, almost meditative. A little water squeezed from a pouch to brush teeth, a breakfast of fruit and oatmeal or warm drinks sealed in plastic. Eating in zero gravity is quiet and careful, a dance of patience. Every crumb, every drop has to be guided, captured before it floats away. But the astronauts smile as they float together, sharing jokes. Talking about home, about the weather, the small things they miss, the smell of rain, the sound of trees, the feel of gravity. Throughout the day, they work together, checking systems, conducting experiments, taking care of their home. Every task has meaning, every motion purpose. The rhythm of teamwork fills the space, a steady heartbeat that keeps them grounded even without ground beneath them. There is comfort in the repetition, in the shared mission, in the laughter that sometimes echoes through the modules. Laughter sounds different here, lighter, freer, as if gravity itself once held it down. They tend to congregate around noon at the largest window, the cupola. It's a place of quiet reflection. From here, the entire earth unfurls beneath them, oceans that shift in deep blues, deserts aglow with gold, and auroras shimmering across polar extremes. They point out cities, mountain chains, and rivers, their home planet alive in color and motion. The noise of the world falls away in a glance from here. Borders disappear. Clouds drift without regard for nations. It's a reminder of how small, and how precious, everything truly is. Soon after, they start exercising, working their bodies against resistance machines meant to keep muscles strong. The air fills with the soft hum of machines and the steady cadence of breath. Even in the stillness of space, the body remembers motion, and this daily routine keeps them connected to the pull of the world below. Evenings are slow and calm, lights softened, astronauts floating together for dinner. Every meal is shared with consideration, carefully doled out pouches of soups and rice, mouthfuls of familiar flavors. They talk about their day, about family, about memories of home. Sometimes they'll play music, a quiet melody echoing off the metal walls. It feels almost like Earth again, a small table, a group of friends, the silence between bites. There are moments of solitude, too. In the private quarters for each astronaut, there is the capability to listen to music, read messages from loved ones, or look out of the small window into the infinite dark. It's in those moments that peace settles in, the awareness of being part of something vast, yet still connected to everything they have left behind. Some claim it is like being nowhere and somewhere at once. The ISS hums softly throughout the night, systems breathing, instruments whispering, soft vibrations of orbit continuing. Outside, the Earth glows beneath a veil of stars. Clouds drift in silence. Lightning flickers far below, a reminder of weather, of rain, of life still happening on the planet that spins endlessly beneath them. What makes this floating home so peaceful isn't the view or the technology, it's the people. The crew comes from different countries, different languages, different stories, yet here, they move as one. They depend on each other completely. There is no room for conflict in the silence of space, only understanding and trust. Each voice, each smile, each helping hand adds warmth to the metal walls. Sometimes it's after work is done and the lights are off that one or two astronauts will drift to the cupola again. They'll watch another sunrise bloom over the edge of the Earth, the golden light wrapping around the planet like a slow heartbeat. It's quiet then, the kind of quiet that feels alive. The sun rises, the station glides, the stars remain still. In that moment, the ISS truly feels like home, not just a machine orbiting Earth, but a tiny living world full of laughter, calm, and life. The floating astronauts drift off to sleep surrounded by warmth and quietness as they close their eyes in their rooms. The hum of systems would have to be their lullaby. Outside, the stars twinkled bright. This living Earth below breathed, turning endlessly. Inside the floating home, peace lingers, a fragile, glowing calm in the middle of forever. Outside the window, space is black, deep and endless, a canvas without edge. Then suddenly, the darkness begins to shimmer. Thin ribbons of color ripple across the horizon, green and violet waves twisting and glowing like slow-moving fire. The astronauts drift closer to the glass, silent, watching. From up here, above the atmosphere, auroras are not lights in the sky, they are entire oceans of color flowing beneath you. On Earth, we see auroras against the night as curtains. But in orbit, they are like living worlds stretched from one horizon to the other. The colors move in silence, soft and hypnotic. Greens fade to purple, then to deep blue, then to the faintest shimmer of white. You can almost feel the movement, like light breathing against the edge of the world. It's one of the most peaceful sights an astronaut can witness, a reminder that even the forces of the sun, powerful and chaotic, can create something so calm, so beautiful. Auroras are born from storms. The sun throws particles into space, bright waves of energy that travel millions of kilometers until they graze against Earth's magnetic field. Most of that energy is invisible, but some slips through and dances with our atmosphere. It is atoms of oxygen and nitrogen that glow, turning invisible chaos into color. The astronauts know this science, but in the moment, it feels like something beyond explanation, as if the universe itself is painting just for them. Farther out, beyond the glow of auroras, starlight shines with steady calm. The stars do not twinkle here, there is no air to bend their light. They shine pure, sharp, constant. Some are white and bright, others golden or pale red. When cabin lights are dimmed, the view is endless. It feels like being enveloped in a silent ocean of suns. Each point of light is a world, a possibility, a whisper of time millions of years old. The astronauts float there, eyes wide, drifting in front of the window, lost in the silence of that light. Sometimes they see something else, faint flashes, bursts of brilliance that appear unannounced. Solar flares, invisible to the eye, cast subtle glows across the instruments. Cosmic rays leave tiny trails of light in the darkness, brief and mysterious. Even meteors, small and distant, draw glowing lines below the station as they burn in Earth's upper air. From here, you see light as motion, fleeting and fragile and alive. There are nights when the galaxy itself appears to rise. The Milky Way cuts across the darkness like a river of dust and diamonds. It is not bright, it is soft, ghostly, full of depth. And it reminds the astronauts that they are part of it, two orbiting one star among billions, each breath and heartbeat a flicker of light inside a vast, endless sea. Seeing it from here does not make them feel small. It makes them feel still. Still, and connected to everything. In orbit, light behaves differently. Sunlight is harsh, almost white, casting razor-sharp shadows across the station. But the instant you slip into Earth's shadow, it's gone, leaving pure darkness. No dusk, no fade, just instant night. Then, a few moments later, dawn returns like a slow explosion. The sun slowly rises over the edge of Earth, scattering through thin layers of atmosphere. Silently, reds, oranges, and golds bloom and stretch across the curve of the planet. The sunrise happens 16 times a day, and each one feels like the first. The astronauts sometimes stop working just to watch. They turn off the lights, float by the window, and let the world unfold below. They don't say a word. They don't have to. The glow of auroras, the gleam of starlight, the glimmer of cities, all of it becomes a single quiet show, a reminder of just how alive light truly is. It travels, bends, fades, returns, never still, always reaching. Inside the spacecraft, too, light plays its own role in that serenity. Small LEDs glow softly in blues and golds. Reflections waft across the walls. A patch of sunlight will float across a handrail, fade, and then reappear as the station turns. The astronauts often characterize such moments this way: meditations, flashes of beauty in the rhythm of daily life. When night falls, or rather, when Earth hides the sun again, the glow outside becomes gentler. The auroras ripple faintly. The stars remain unmoving. The far-off galaxies shimmer like dust suspended in forever. It's easy to lose track of time when you're watching light in space. It's always changing, yet always the same, calm, infinite, alive. To some astronauts, it's the quiet that makes the light so powerful. On Earth, light is never alone, it's always surrounded by sound, traffic, voices, wind, waves. But here, it glows in silence. You can almost hear the emptiness around it. That silence makes the light feel sacred, like something meant to be witnessed, not explained. And so they float there, night after night, watching the earth's edge shimmer in green and violet, watching starlight drift across the window, watching the faint, silver glow of galaxies that may have died long ago. The cabin hums softly. The world turns far below. The light, calm and eternal, fills the dark with peace. In the silence of orbit, the universe speaks through light. It hums through color, whispers through brightness, breathes through every shimmer across the sky. And as the astronauts close their eyes, letting the glow fade from their vision, they carry that calm with them, the memory of light in the dark, of beauty born from silence, of peace that stretches as far as the stars themselves. In the quiet hum of the spacecraft, a soft sound begins, rhythmic beeping echoing within the cabin. It cuts through the stillness like the heartbeat of connection, steady and reassuring. A voice then comes, distant, calm, familiar. "Station, this is Houston. How do you read?" The astronaut smiles. Across hundreds of miles of vacuum, through a silence deeper than any ocean, a voice from Earth has arrived. These are the moments that remind them they are not alone. Out here, surrounded by darkness and stars, even the smallest sound from home feels alive, warm, human, grounding. Each word carries not just information but emotion. The radio hums softly, a whisper that ties this floating home to the world below. Communications in space are delicate, a dance of signals between antennas, satellites, and ground stations. The delay is slight, only a heartbeat in length, but sufficient to make every response seem reflective, premeditated. The astronauts listen attentively, hanging through brief moments of silence until an answer surfaces. That cadence, the pause, the voice, the pause once more becomes a sort of music. When mission control speaks, it's not just reports and checklists. Sometimes it's laughter. Sometimes it's stories. A message from a family member, a recording of a classroom of children waving at the sky, a song sent up to make someone smile. These fragments of Earth drift through static and space, carrying warmth like sunlight through water. The astronauts float near the radio, listening. Eyes closed, they let the familiar voices wash over them, the soft tones, the accents, the simple humanity in each word. In that moment, the distance seems smaller. The stars outside fade into the background, and for a few minutes, the spacecraft feels like part of home again. Some nights, after the day's work, they play messages from loved ones. A spouse's voice. A child's laughter. A friend's joke. The sound crackles faintly through the radio, but it's perfectly imperfect. The static doesn't hide the words, it frames them, makes them feel real. Every echo, every hiss of signal across the void, is a reminder of how far those voices have traveled through air, through atmosphere, through the silent dark. All the way to this fragile metal world. They often say that hearing the voices from Earth brings a kind of peace that nothing else could. You can look down at the planet every day, watch continents drift beneath clouds, see the cities glow like sparks in the night, but it's not the same as hearing a human voice. Words have weight. They carry memories, emotion, the rhythm of home. There's something deeply comforting about the routine of contact. Every few hours, the beeps return. The crew reports their status, jokes with mission control, listens to the calm voices guiding them from below. Those voices never rush. They are measured, patient, steady, anchors of calm across the emptiness. Even when something goes wrong, the tone stays gentle. It's as if the Earth itself were speaking softly, saying it's okay. We're here. Sometimes, during long missions, they lose signal briefly. The static grows louder, the line fades. The silence that follows is heavy, absolute. Out here, silence is not just the absence of sound, it's the reminder of isolation, of how fragile the thread of connection truly is. But then, after a few seconds or minutes, the soft beeps return. The voice follows. "We've got you again." Relief spreads through the cabin like light returning at dawn. Even in sleep, there is communication. Ground control watches, monitors, sends quiet signals through the night. The astronauts sleep, knowing that somewhere below, people are awake watching over them, keeping the connection alive. That becomes its own kind of comfort-a lullaby sung through static and time. On weekends, messages from home are longer. They talk about weather, birthdays, the smell of rain, the sound of birds, small details that mean everything when you're far from Earth. These stories float in the air of the station long after the call ends. Someone will smile quietly, another will close their eyes and imagine the sound of leaves or waves. The cabin feels fuller after every message, as if the air itself remembers the voices. There are these moments, too, when the astronauts record messages to send back. Their voices travel down the same invisible path through the vacuum, across satellites, back to Earth. They speak softly, slowly, describing what they see, a sunrise over the Pacific, the glow of auroras, the deep quiet of space. They know that hours later, perhaps their loved ones will hear those words, replay them again and again, listen for the warmth between each sentence. A connection through sound is fragile, yet powerful. It is the thin thread that connects heart to home and breath to breath. Out here, among the silence of infinity, even static becomes sacred. In quiet moments, when the labor has stopped and the hours hover between orbits, the astronaut drifts to the window and starts watching Earth turn below. They imagine the voices down there, billions of them, all at once, the laughter, the music, the soft conversations before sleep. From this distance, the planet seems quiet, but they know it's alive with sound. And somehow, through all that noise, a single voice found its way to them. The hum of the radio fades once more, leaving only silence. The astronaut lingers for a moment longer, eyes on the blue glow of the world below. The connection may rest, but it never disappears. The signal will return. The beeps will start again. And when they do, it will be like sunlight breaking through the night, a reminder that no matter how far they drift, home is always calling. In the quiet of orbit, those soft beeps, those voices from afar, carry something more than just sound. They carry belonging. They carry love. They carry calm in knowing that across endless dark, someone, somewhere, speaks your name. The journey home begins in silence. The spacecraft turns slowly, its nose tilting toward the blue curve of the planet below. Through the window, Earth glows like a living jewel, white clouds swirling over deep oceans, golden continents shining beneath the sun. It looks close enough to touch, yet impossibly far away. The astronauts know what comes next. Re-entry. The most intense few minutes of the entire voyage. Inside, they fasten their straps, check their instruments, and take one last look at the stars. Out there, the universe is still and endless. Here, inside this small capsule, life is about to ignite. Engines fire, slow at first, then with growing force. The spacecraft begins to fall. It's not a fall like anything on Earth. It's a controlled dive through the thin upper edge of the atmosphere, invisible layers of air that grow thicker, heavier, hotter with every second. The stars outside fade. The blackness turns to deep red, then orange, then gold. The spacecraft shakes. Plasma gathers around it, glowing in waves of fire. To anyone watching from the ground, it would look like a shooting star. To those inside, it's like riding through dawn itself. The roar grows louder. The air outside screams with friction, but inside, there's only the deep hum of the ship and the steady voices of mission control in their ears. Every sound feels distant, muffled beneath the thunder. The astronauts trust their training, their machine, and the calm within them. They've seen fire before, in launch, in engines, in the glow of distant suns, but this fire feels different. This is the fire of return. Then, suddenly, silence. The flames fade, replaced by a strange stillness. The capsule has slowed, caught by Earth's thick embrace. The parachutes burst open, bright orange against the blue, and the violent descent becomes a slow, swaying fall. The sky spreads wide again. Light floods through the windows. The astronauts breathe deeply, realizing how long it's been since they've felt the pull of gravity, the weight of home. The capsule drifts lower, lower, until at last, with a soft thud, it touches down. Dust rises. The motion stops. For a moment, no one speaks. The silence is complete. After months of constant hum, of gentle motion and mechanical sound, the stillness feels strange, grounding, final, beautiful. Then, a voice crackles over the radio. Cheers echo faintly from the recovery team. The hatch is opened. Sunlight floods in, real sunlight, warm and unfiltered. The air smells of Earth. It carries dust, grass, salt, and wind. The astronauts inhale deeply, and for the first time in months, they feel the weight of air pressing against their lungs. It feels heavy, alive, full of scent and memory. They are helped out of the capsule, legs trembling under gravity's familiar pull. Every step feels new, a rediscovery of balance, of ground, of belonging. The sky above looks impossibly wide, full of moving clouds. The sound of birds drifts through the air. Even the distant hum of engines, the rustle of grass, the faint whistle of wind, all of it feels miraculous. After the silence of space, the world feels noisy in the best possible way. The earth hums with life, with insects, people, rivers, and trees. Everything moves, everything breathes. They notice things they never did before, the texture of soil underfoot, the weight of their own body, the way sunlight flickers through air instead of vacuum. Many astronauts say this is the moment they fall in love with Earth all over again. The planet they studied from orbit, fragile, glowing, perfect, now surrounds them completely. They can feel it, smell it, taste it. The colors are overwhelming, the deep greens of grass, the golden light of afternoon, the blue sky stretching endlessly upward. Even rain, when it comes, feels sacred, soft water from a living world. Days later, when they've returned home and the routine of life begins again, something inside them remains quiet, changed. They move through familiar streets and hear the whisper of wind in trees, the laughter of people. The gentle crash of waves, and each sound feels like a gift. They remember the silence of space, the endless stillness of orbit, and realize how alive this planet truly is. They look up at night and see the faint path of the International Space Station gliding across the stars, a silent, moving light. Once, that was their home. Now it's a reminder that we live on something rare, something delicate, something endlessly beautiful. Re-entry is more than just a return through fire and air. It's a transformation, from stillness to motion, from silence to song, from distance back to belonging. The first breath of air, the first sound of wind, the first step on solid ground, these are more than sensations. They are reminders of what it means to be human. And so, standing under the open sky, surrounded by the warmth of the living world, the astronauts breathe deeply once more. The stars above still shine, silent, eternal, but now, they understand something new, that even in a universe full of wonder, the greatest miracle is home. In the quiet hum of the spacecraft, a soft sound begins, rhythmic beeping echoing within the cabin. It cuts through the stillness like the heartbeat of connection, steady and reassuring. A voice then comes, distant, calm, familiar. "Station, this is Houston. How do you read?" The astronaut smiles. Across hundreds of miles of vacuum, through a silence deeper than any ocean, a voice from Earth has arrived. These are the moments that remind them they are not alone. Out here, surrounded by darkness and stars, even the smallest sound from home feels alive, warm, human, grounding. Each word carries not just information but emotion. The radio hums softly, a whisper that ties this floating home to the world below. Communications in space are delicate, a dance of signals between antennas, satellites, and ground stations. The delay is slight, only a heartbeat in length, but sufficient to make every response seem reflective, premeditated. The astronauts listen attentively, hanging through brief moments of silence until an answer surfaces. That cadence, the pause, the voice, the pause once more becomes a sort of music. When mission control speaks, it's not just reports and checklists. Sometimes it's laughter. Sometimes it's stories. A message from a family member, a recording of a classroom of children waving at the sky, a song sent up to make someone smile. These fragments of Earth drift through static and space, carrying warmth like sunlight through water. The astronauts float near the radio, listening. Eyes closed, they let the familiar voices wash over them, the soft tones, the accents, the simple humanity in each word. In that moment, the distance seems smaller. The stars outside fade into the background, and for a few minutes, the spacecraft feels like part of home again. Some nights, after the day's work, they play messages from loved ones. A spouse's voice. A child's laughter. A friend's joke. The sound crackles faintly through the radio, but it's perfectly imperfect. The static doesn't hide the words, it frames them, makes them feel real. Every echo, every hiss of signal across the void, is a reminder of how far those voices have traveled through air, through atmosphere, through the silent dark, all the way to this fragile metal world. They often say that hearing the voices from Earth brings a kind of peace that nothing else could. You can look down at the planet every day, watch continents drift beneath clouds, see the cities glow like sparks in the night, but it's not the same as hearing a human voice. Words have weight. They carry memories, emotion, the rhythm of home. There's something deeply comforting about the routine of contact. Every few hours, the beeps return. The crew reports their status, jokes with mission control, listens to the calm voices guiding them from below. Those voices never rush. They are measured, patient, steady. Anchors of calm across the emptiness. Even when something goes wrong, the tone stays gentle. It's as if the Earth itself were speaking softly, saying it's okay. We're here. Sometimes, during long missions, they lose signal briefly. The static grows louder, the line fades. The silence that follows is heavy, absolute. Out here, silence is not just the absence of sound, it's the reminder of isolation, of how fragile the thread of connection truly is. But then, after a few seconds or minutes, the soft beeps return. The voice follows. We've got you again. Relief spreads through the cabin like light returning at dawn. Even in sleep, there is communication. Ground control watches, monitors, sends quiet signals through the night. The astronauts sleep, knowing that somewhere below, people are awake watching over them, keeping the connection alive. That becomes its own kind of comfort, a lullaby sung through static and time. On weekends, messages from home are longer. They talk about weather, birthdays, the smell of rain, the sound of birds, small details that mean everything when you're far from Earth. These stories float in the air of the station long after the call ends. Someone will smile quietly, another will close their eyes and imagine the sound of leaves or waves. The cabin feels fuller after every message, as if the air itself remembers the voices. There are these moments, too, when the astronauts record messages to send back. Their voices travel down the same invisible path through the vacuum, across satellites, back to Earth. They speak softly, slowly, describing what they see, a sunrise over the Pacific, the glow of auroras, the deep quiet of space. They know that hours later, perhaps their loved ones will hear those words, replay them again and again, listen for the warmth between each sentence. A connection through sound is fragile, yet powerful. It is the thin thread that connects heart to home and breath to breath. Out here, among the silence of infinity, even static becomes sacred. In quiet moments, when the labor has stopped and the hours hover between orbits, the astronaut drifts to the window and starts watching Earth turn below. They imagine the voices down there, billions of them, all at once, the laughter, the music, the soft conversations before sleep. From this distance, the planet seems quiet, but they know it's alive with sound. And somehow, through all that noise, a single voice found its way to them. The hum of the radio fades once more, leaving only silence. The astronaut lingers for a moment longer, eyes on the blue glow of the world below. The connection may rest, but it never disappears. The signal will return. The beeps will start again. And when they do, it will be like sunlight breaking through the night, a reminder that no matter how far they drift, home is always calling. In the quiet of orbit, those soft beeps, those voices from afar, carry something more than just sound. They carry belonging. They carry love. They carry calm in knowing that across endless dark, someone, somewhere, speaks your name. The journey home begins in silence. The spacecraft turns slowly, its nose angling down toward the blue curve of the planet below. Earth glows outside the window like a living jewel, white clouds swirling over deep oceans, golden continents shining beneath the sun. It's close enough to reach out and touch, and yet impossibly far away. The astronauts know what comes next. Re-entry. The most extreme few minutes of the entire voyage. They strap themselves in, check their instruments, and take one last look at the stars. Outside, the universe is silent and infinite. In this tiny capsule, life is about to erupt. The engines fire, first slow, then louder and louder. The spacecraft starts to fall. It's not a fall like anything on Earth, a controlled dive through the thin upper edge of the atmosphere, invisible layers of air that grow thicker, heavier, hotter with every second. The stars outside fade. The blackness turns to deep red, then orange, then gold. The spacecraft shakes. Plasma gathers around it, glowing in waves of fire. To anyone watching from the ground, it would look like a shooting star. To those inside, it's like riding through dawn itself. The roar grows louder. Outside, the air screams with friction, but inside, there's only the deep hum of the ship, the steady voices of mission control in their ears. Every sound feels muffled, distant, beneath the thunder. The astronauts trust their training, their machine, and the calm within them. They've seen fire before in launch, in engines, in the glow of distant suns, but this fire feels different. This is the fire of return. Then, suddenly, silence. The flames fade, replaced by a strange stillness. The capsule has slowed, caught by Earth's thick embrace. The parachutes burst open, bright orange against the blue, and the violent descent becomes a slow, swaying fall. The sky spreads wide again. Light floods through the windows. The astronauts breathe deeply, realizing how long it's been since they've felt the pull of gravity, the weight of home. The capsule drifts lower, lower, until at last, with a soft thud, it touches down. Dust rises. The motion stops. For a moment, no one speaks. The silence is complete. After months of constant hum, of gentle motion and mechanical sound, the stillness feels strange, grounding, final, beautiful. Then, the voice crackles over the radio. Cheers echo faintly from the recovery team. The hatch is opened. Sunlight floods in, real sunlight, warm and unfiltered. The air smells of Earth, it carries dust, grass, salt, and wind. The astronauts inhale deeply, and for the first time in months, they feel the weight of air pressing against their lungs. It feels heavy, alive, full of scent and memory. They are helped out of the capsule, legs trembling under gravity's familiar pull. Every step feels new, a rediscovery of balance, of ground, of belonging. The sky above looks impossibly wide, full of moving clouds. The sound of birds drifts through the air. Even the distant hum of engines, the rustle of grass, the faint whistle of wind, all of it feels miraculous. After the silence of space, the world is noisy in the best possible ways. The earth hums with life, with insects and people and rivers and trees. Everything moves and everything breathes. They notice things they never did before, the texture of soil underfoot, the weight of their own body, the way sunlight flickers through air instead of vacuum. Many astronauts say this is the moment when they fall in love with Earth all over again. The planet they have studied from orbit, fragile and glowing and perfect, now completely envelopes them. They can feel it, smell it, taste it. Colors are overwhelming: deep green grass, golden afternoon light, and blue sky that stretches upward endlessly. Even rain, when it finally comes, feels sacred, soft water from a living world. Days later, when they are back home and the routine of life has started once again, something inside them remains quiet, changed. They walk down familiar streets, hear the whisper of wind and trees, the laughter of people, the soft crash of waves, and each sound is like a gift. They remember the silence of space, the endless stillness of orbit, how alive this planet really is. They look up at night and see the faint path of the International Space Station gliding across the stars, a silent, moving light. Once that was their home. Now it's a reminder that we live on something rare, something delicate, something endlessly beautiful. Re-entry is more than just a return through fire and air, it's a transformation from stillness to motion, from silence to song, from distance back to belonging. The first breath of air, the first sound of wind, the first step on solid ground. These are more than sensations. They are reminders of what it means to be human. And so, standing under the open sky, surrounded by the warmth of the living world, the astronauts breathe deeply once more. The stars above still shine, silent, eternal, but now, they understand something new, that even in a universe full of wonder, the greatest miracle is home.